We'll work through it. Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Barnes. On behalf of the Olive Branch Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, I'd like to welcome you to our September membership luncheon. Bancorp South is our presenting sponsor today, and A&B Distributing is our silver sponsor. I'd like to ask Gary Kinney, pastor of Beautiful Savior Lutheran Church, to come forward and lead us in the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
If you would join me in prayer, please. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for all the multitude of blessings that you shower on us each and every day. We thank you for this food. We thank you for the careers that you allow us to pursue. We would ask that you would continue to bless this community and this nation as we turn to you for strength and guidance. We ask all of this in the name of your Son, our Lord and Savior, Jesus the Christ. Amen. If you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd like to introduce our newest members. And if you can stand if you're able, when I call your name, please remain standing. And hold your applause until we're done. We'll welcome everybody in together. No particular order. We have Pick and Paint, Matthew Tone. Kroger Store, here in Olive Branch, John Hardin. Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services, Cameron Stubbs. West Sandwich Road, Church of Christ, Pastor Ed Phillips. Sammy's Kitchen, Samuel Woods. Osana's Pet Salon, Osana Gonzalez. Advanced Auto Parts, Daniel Castleman. ExoCare Center for Autism, Tiffany Ratliff and Loretta Smith. Welcome. Please stick around afterwards. We'll get a new member picture right over here. Just so there's no strangers in the room, if we have any new members or members that haven't attended a luncheon yet would like to be introduced to the group, please do so now. Yeah, right here.
Hey guys, I'm Emily with ID Theft Solutions of America, and we have a new representative working with us on the program. I'd love her to feel a warm welcome here in Olive Branch.
Yes, sir.
I'm Andre Robinson. I'm with A1 Staff in Memphis, Tennessee.
Glad you're with us. Okay. So today's silver sponsor is A&G Distributing. I want to take a moment and thank them for their continued support and sponsorship. And I believe they have some information and gifts for you on the table in front. Thank you, A&D. Randy, the free samples are outside. Okay. Our presenting sponsor today is Bancorp South, and Richie Hampton, the DeSoto County Market President, will introduce today's speaker. Richie.
Thank you, Ryan. Well, I always like to start off with a giveaway. That way we don't forget. I'm not running up here after and say, hey, we got some things. But they handed me 2 tickets right before I got here, and I'm not sure exactly what it's for. So, Dan, where are you out there? I know you're here. Do me a favor and tell me what these 2 tickets are. 4 tickets. I got 4 tickets.
4 tickets to see our show at DeSoto Family Theater in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. This is the last weekend, and it's the C.S. Lewis stories about the Chronicles of Narnia, and we have a 9-foot lion on stage. It's phenomenal, and I'd love to have somebody there win these tickets to come see our show. Thank you.
Yeah, no way was I ever going to be able to say all of that.
And it's a gift from Bancorp South. I forgot to mention it. It's their gift because they're one of our sponsors. I need to make sure we get that opportunity to give them a hand.
Appreciate it, man. We got that. Plus, we had 2 other gifts. We've got Forrest, you come here. handies out. We've also got a couple of gifts. It's a seat cooler, 2 of them. I promise you'll love them. So if you can, draw me 1, 2, 3, 4 things of that. Excuse me. I'll put that back. I'll definitely put that back. All right, for 2 of the tickets, we've got, Pat Hamilton. Come on up here, Pat. Come on up here. The next one, we've got, for the House of Grace, Reverend T. Victor. I'm sorry, Victor, come on up here. Tell me how bad I tore that up. That's Lousky. See, I got it right. I promise you, hang on that and we can get you those tickets, okay? I'll give you. All right, for the 2 coolers, we've got, you actually won the cooler, but I didn't think you might need that one. Stacy Michael with Commitment to Excellence, Waste Connections Incorporated. Nope, come on down. And also, we've got Richard Edmiston with South Group. Come on down. You're welcome. Both of you, I keep trying to get our silver sponsor. Randy, I keep trying to get y'all to put a couple of products in there for us, but no go. Okay. Next year. Well, let me say this. So Randy Taylor is representing A and B, and I know we already gave them a big round of applause, but when I tell you, they do a ton for this community. A lot of things they're doing is backstage. A lot of it, they never ask for any attention, but please help me give them another round of applause. They do a ton of things. All right. Now, we've got a bunch of people here, okay? But I'm not going to introduce everyone, but I am going to pick out a few names. Right up front, just kind of wave when I say your name. We've got 3 local Olive Branch managers, Jennifer Adams, Sarah Jones. Sarah, been in this community, been with us for 42 years.
39.
Sarah, you're supposed to say sure and go with me on that, okay? Katina Jackson, who is actually standing in for Jacqueline Owens. We also got retail manager for DeSoto County, Sonny Stuckey, and senior lender Pierce Kemp. I'm not sure what Pierce is, back in the back. Also out in the crowd, I've got my boss and division president Mike Anderson, and I've got executive vice president for the company Brian Waldo. Sonny actually told me I had to talk about a couple of things that you got out on your table there. I'm sorry. One of them is VITA. I don't have it with me, but VITA is a tax preparation program. We've been doing that for 10 plus years right now. Please look at that. We will prepare your taxes for free if you qualify. We're doing that right now at Longview Baptist Church, but for years we actually did that at North Central. I want to publicly thank both of them. I really want to thank publicly, I don't know if Kevin Dodgers is here, but I know Mike Bellatani. Those 2 guys were wonderful to work for. We had there several years, and they did throw us out a promise. Michael wanted to, but Kevin wouldn't let him. So they did, but we did, but we had to move somewhere a little more centrally located. But I do want to tell them how much I appreciate them letting us use the venues. We do have a wine and cheese. I'm sorry, I don't have it right in front of me. Sonny, what's the date? September 27th. We're going to have a little get together. That's in conjunction with the Olive Branch Chamber. Please come out from 5 to 7. It's going to be a big time. It's going to meet a lot of people. We're going to have a lot of networking opportunities. So please come out and join us for that. Okay, now for our program. Okay, now what we usually do, we usually actually turn a lot of our time over to a nonprofit. This year we're doing something different. Before I do that, I want to tell you a story. And I was talking to Jacob earlier and Tyler, and kind of alluded to this. Let me tell you a story. recently I was talking to my sister, and she lives in Nashville. And we were talking about her plans for the upcoming weekend. Now, she lives in Nashville, and I get to hear about all the concerts and places to eat and yada, 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 that kind of thing. So I'm expecting to get that. That's not what I got. Her response was, "What do you mean? I'm going to the game. Are you kidding me? I'm going to the game. We play Milan this weekend. We play Milan this weekend." And when she said we, she wasn't talking about the Titans. She wasn't talking about any team around Nashville. She literally was taking off work early, driving to our hometown because we were playing our rivals of Milan, Tennessee. That's the kind of commitment, the loyalty, the excitement that your local high school, the local high school football team brings to this community. So with that, I do want to introduce the principal of Olive Branch High School, Jacob Triplett. Come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Hampton. And what he just said is so true. Nothing makes for a good first semester of high school like having a good football team. And right now we've got a good season going. We're 4-0, whole lot of games left to play, but what he said is true. Nothing makes a good first semester like a good season of football, the rivalries, the battles on the gridiron on Friday night. So I completely agree with what you and your sister had to say. Before I get started, my sister's never wrong. I have one of those as well. Before I get started, I want to recognize a few individuals here. I am the principal of Olive Branch High School, but I could not do it alone. It is a complete group effort. I have a 9th through the 12th graders, but that kindergarten principal and the 5th grade principal and the 8th grade principal are just as vital to my success as what I do with my staff and my teachers. So I want to recognize those individuals that are here right now. The principal of Chickasaw Elementary could not be here, Miss Selena Hall, but she did send her assistant principal to represent her. Miss Marsha Phillips is here. Principal of Olive Branch Elementary School, Miss Leanne Wong. And the principal of the middle school, Miss Beth Turner. Likewise, we also have the superintendent for the DeSoto County Schools, Mr. Corey Elselton, with us today as well. Mr. Elselton, thank you for being here today. And there's one more group I want to thank that there is likely a representative from that group here, but the Olive Branch Police Department and Fire Department that do such a tremendous job in the schools, not only keeping us safe, but handling the minor incidents that happen as well. We miss football games on Thursday nights at the middle school and Friday nights at the high school, and if the kid gets sick, the fire department's the first to show up. So for those of you that are members of the OBPD and OBFD, thank you so much for what you do for your Olive Branch schools. There's a placard outside Olive Branch High, and it should show up next. That's the original. The date on that is September 24th, 1912. By my calculations, and on my principal, I believe that's 106 years ago. DeSoto County Agricultural High School was the first school in Olive Branch that was dedicated to educating the students of Olive Branch. We have a composite hanging in our hall from the class of 1939, Olive Branch Consolidated High School. In 1970, Eastside High School consolidated with Olive Branch High to form what you now know as Olive Branch High School Conquistadors. The picture of the placard, I'm sure, is long gone, but what it says is tradition, class, and pride, dash, OB pride. That's the last words on that. And since I've been principal of Olive Branch High School, tradition, class, and pride, and OB pride is such a true thing. And so when Mr. Hampton asked me to speak, he said, let's just talk about the high school. And so I thought about it for a while, and that's what I wanted to say. And I said, okay, well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about Olive Branch High School. So I just made a bunch of bullet points to tell you guys how successful we are. Not only us, but it starts, again, at the middle school, at the elementary schools. So I just have a list of here of good things going on at Olive Branch High School that I want to share with you. I hope you enjoyed the slides. It's just some pictures from around Olive Branch High School. This by a show of hands, I'm just curious, how many of you graduated from Olive Branch High School? All right, that's what I thought. I thought there would be a number of hands to go up. Well, welcome, alumni. From an academic standpoint, there are roughly 240 high schools in Mississippi, and Olive Branch High School is near the top in every category. They really are. Last year, I'm going to talk about our senior class that are freshmen in college right now. Our senior class had $21 million in scholarships offered to them last year. Let me say that again. $21 million in scholarships offered. And according to Mr. Usselton, that is the record, essentially. No other school has ever reported that much being offered to their seniors. That same senior class was accepted into 145 colleges and universities throughout 30 states of America. 82 of the 252 graduates graduated with honors. 10 of them scored 30 or higher on their ACT. Now that class is gone. They're gone. But the class coming behind them and behind them and behind them is just as successful. Our current student body, we have 21 students that have already achieved a 30 on their ACT. We have 45 students that are taking classes at the Career Tech. Oh, speaking of that, Mr. Sutherland, where are you? Principal of Career Tech East. I know I saw you here somewhere. Mr. Sutherland, thank you for being here, sir. We have 45 students that are coming your way each day on buses, so thank you for what you do for those students. Through the partnership with Delta State University and Northwest Community College, our students can go to college while in high school. And currently we have 115 students taking a variety of 11 classes at Olive Branch High School, earning college credits. And we have one young man down here that I'm going to let Coach talk about in a minute. When he graduates high school, he is going to be one class away from being a sophomore in college. And I wish that was there when I was. But I say all that to say this. Academically, Olive Branch High School is thriving. There are phenomenal teachers doing phenomenal things in those classrooms. And our student body is soaking it up and giving back to the community in many, many, many ways. They really are. Your teachers, your Olive Branch High School academically is thriving. As far as student life on campus, we have roughly 15 clubs on campus. Two of our big ones are Interact and JROTC. It's nice having Marines on campus, let me tell you this. When you walk through the halls and you see the young men and women in their fatigues doing their PT or whatever it is they're doing that day, presenting the colors, having Marines on campus is a phenomenal thing to have. We have 81 cadets right now in our JROTC program, and they're after school, they're there before school, they're at ball games. It is a phenomenal crew to have on campus. I'm really proud of our JROTC guys. Our Interact Club has almost 200 members in it right now. 200 members. Last year, they contributed over 7,000 volunteer hours to local organizations, local events. As a matter of fact, we'll be working this weekend for the 10K in Old Town. Our Interact also last year in help with our basketball team, they donated $7,000 to the hurricane relief from the hurricanes that ravaged the islands roughly this time about a year ago. They donated $7,000 to their efforts along with our basketball team. Kids are doing good things at Olive Branch High. They're learning, they're doing good things, they're giving back to the community. You know, OB pride, like I said earlier, is a real thing. When I first got the job at Olive Branch High School, I had been the principal at Center Hill Middle. I had heard the term OB pride. But you don't know what it is until you walk those halls. You really don't know what it is. And I got the job in June, and somewhere around October, November, I began to understand what OB pride really is. It is a true thing. I can't define it for you. I can't describe it to you, but it is a powerful influence. It's an emotional influence that when you walk those halls and come to the ball games, OB pride is a true thing, and it is alive and well as it has ever been at Olive Branch High School. And speaking of that, I want to talk about two individuals that continue to give back, continue their OB pride. You know, last year our basketball team won the basketball state championship. Mr. KJ Wright plays for the Seattle Seahawks. There's a picture of him up there going through, giving the donation back to the boys. He plays for the Seattle Seahawks. He was actually on the basketball team and football team and track team and all that when he was at Olive Branch High. But his basketball team went 30-0 and then lost in the state tournament. Well, this year's boys, we didn't lose that. As a matter of fact, we dominated the state tournament. We really did. Well, when it was all over and done, they had to get those fellows some rings. They earned it. They went, I think, 32-4 was their record. At one point, they beat the #1 team in the country. They had a phenomenal season. And we started talking to organizations about donating this and companies donating that to purchase the rings for the young men. And when KJ heard about that, KJ said, I got it. And he flew in and he wrote the check and covered the state championship cost for the rings for the boys. So that's an example of Obie pride. KJ Wright, check them out, Seattle Seahawks. I'm sure they play Sunday. Another one is Maya Taylor. Maya Taylor graduated 2 years ago. She is currently on the Mississippi State University basketball team. She was a 3-time Gatorade Player of the Year in Mississippi. We retired her number last year. You know, in her transition going from high school to college, she was awarded a grant and gave it back to the Olive Branch Police Department for youth groups and whatnot. Well, this just happened in the last week or two. The SEC Network, in conjunction with, I don't want to get this wrong, the College Football Playoff Foundation, they award one representative from each university $10,000 for the school. Any athlete can nominate any teacher from their high school. We're talking tens of thousands of athletes in the Southeastern Conference. Well, Maya recommended one of our teachers, Ms. Jennifer Giacconi. She's a Spanish teacher at Olive Branch High School. And someone that has Obie pride, let me tell you, Ms. Giacconi has Obie pride. Maya won. Ms. Giacconi is going to be recognized on the SEC Network when game day comes to Starkville. They're going to do a special on Maya. They're going to do a special on Ms. Giacconi. And we have been awarded a grant through Maya for $10,000. That's another example of how Obie pride continues to give. Even after these individuals are long gone, they're still giving back to Olive Branch. And like I said, that just happened a couple of days ago. So Obie pride is real. It is true. From an extracurricular standpoint, I'm talking about our sports, our band, and all that kind of things. I started listing this, and there's a lot. This is just last school year, and I'm just going to read these off. So to let you hear all the things that were accomplished last year by our students and sponsors and coaches. You can tell the season's about to start when you hear the metronome going out there on the band parking lot. It's hot. It's 115 degrees standing on that black asphalt. And there are 120 band members out there practicing for hours each day with that metronome. Oh, that metronome. I heard it yesterday. All that work pays off. Last year, our band was second in the state. I was there, in my opinion, a much better performance than the team that won state, but, you know, according to the judges, we were second in the state. Our DECA group, we had 7 state champions in our DECA organization. Our choir received All Superior and Best in Class recognition for their performance. Dance and cheer both had top 10 finishes at the state level. Baseball and softball advanced to the second round of playoffs. Girls soccer advanced to the North Half Championships and lost to the eventual state champions. We had 1 tennis player advance to the state championships. Girls basketball only lost 4 games and are poised to make another run to the state championship this year. Our boys basketball team was the state champion. We beat the #1 team in the country. And right now, of the starting 5, 3 of those young men already have major Division I scholarship offers, not to mention one of those being the top 20 recruit in the nation, Mr. DJ Jeffries. So if you get a chance to come watch our basketball team this year, come out. It's a show. They are talented young men, very talented young men. On top of that, our football team in 2016 was 0-11. And based on reported history, they had the biggest one-year turnaround. Last year, they went 12-2. They went from 0-11 to 12-2. Played for the North Half Championship and lost to eventual state champion West Point. And West Point was just loaded. That's all I can say about it. They were the best team in the state. They about beat most JUCO, to be honest. They were that good. They were that good. This year, like I said earlier, we're currently 4-0. We got an off week this week. But just as important as wins and losses is the environment of the program. A good structured football team, we're talking 120 men, one freshman and team in there as well, 120 young men. A good structured, sound, and disciplined football team makes a school day so much better. It really does. It really does. So just as important as wins and losses is the environment and culture of the football program. Not only has our coach won games, he has also established and upheld high standards of character, academics, while developing the individuals into mature young men. This turnaround, it's been something to see. The culture of the program, the wins and losses, it speaks for itself. I wish you could walk up and down the halls and see how our young football team, young men, conduct themselves. And the gentleman responsible for that, I'm proud to introduce the Olive Branch High School coach, Mr. Tyler Turner.
Thank you, Mr. Triplett, for the introduction. I wasn't sure you were going to be able to read my handwriting. You know, one thing that I've always heard from when I first started coaching is you never chase money, you chase administration. And we are blessed at Olive Branch to have great administration that lead our school every day. We couldn't do what we do without those guys, and they're very supportive to our teachers and our coaches in the building. So I just want to thank Mr. Triplett for that, and Mr. McNeil. We got 4 guys here I want to start out by introducing first. These are 4 seniors on our football team, but they have set themselves apart. And the way they've set themselves apart is not only on the football field, but also in the classroom. They have the 4 highest GPAs of anybody on our team in the senior class. Start out with Caden Burse. Caden's our starting inside linebacker for our football team, and he also has a 4.4 GPA. Dakota Braswell. Dakota is our starting running back, and he also has a 4.0 GPA. Cole Cowledge. Cole's our starting quarterback, and he has a 4.2 GPA. And this little guy right here is Daniel Raybon. Daniel's our starting right tackle, and he has a 3.9 GPA. So, you know, these are exactly the guys we want representing our football program. They lead us on the field, but they also lead us in the classroom and the community, and we're so proud to have them a part of our team. When we talk about last year and talk about the success that we've had coming off an all-11 season to 12-2 season, a bunch of different schools want to come up. What did you do, Coach? What did you want to talk to our staff? And what I tell everybody that asks me, any coach from anywhere, or any person that asks, is football is 10% of really what I do and what our coaching staff does. I'm a janitor, I'm a laundry man, I'm a therapist, a nutritionist, a counselor, a disciplinarian, and a father figure to those without one. Varsity football training until November 2nd this year was our last game. From November 27th, when we lost our last game last year in the North South Championship, our kids will have trained 671 hours for this season. That's a very, they're probably thinking that it's a lot more than that, but it's a, that number is probably a little more than that, not less. A football game is 48 minutes long, okay? 48 minutes, we are guaranteed 11 games a year. That's 528 minutes. So for 671 hours, our kids train every year for 8.8 hours of football. I mean, so if we think as a coaching staff that our job is to win games, then we're missing the boat on what we should be doing. That is a very small percent of what we do. Football instills attributes that last a lifetime. And to name a few of those: teamwork, discipline, perseverance, goal setting, work ethic, humility, how to compete, how to lead, how to follow, accountability, and how to sacrifice. And that's just to name a few of them. As I look around in the room, I see all the different business men and women. I know I'm way out of my league when it comes to talking about business. But even a high school football coach can tell you that any good program or any good organization that's prosperous and continues to grow has three things about them. They got a good product, they got a good plan, and they have a good culture. our product is our team, our boys. Our product is on display on Mondays for JV and freshman games, and our product is on display on Friday nights, and y'all all come out and watch. But our product is also on display Monday through Friday in that classroom and walking in the halls of that school, and then 7 days a week in the community at home. We have 77 football players in the varsity level. We have over 50 in the freshman level. Out of 77 players on the varsity level, 41% of those players don't have a father figure in their house. So our main focus is to invest in our product. If you want your product to be successful, if you want your product to grow, you got to invest in the product. And a few ways that we do that as a coaching staff is I don't believe that one coach on my staff made $1 coaching football last year, because our players were over our coach's house about every week, feeding them. We have a deal with our players that if our defense shuts out a team, or if our offense has over a certain amount of rushing yards, that the kids come over to their coach's house and we feed them. Well, after you feed a bunch of high school athletes, you can't go broke. But what the kids don't understand is you are being celebrated, you are being congratulated for what you did on the field that Friday night. But that's not the main purpose. The main purpose is to get those guys in a more intimate setting, away from the football field, away from the weight room or the field house, and let them see how we act at home around our families, how we treat our wives, how we treat our babies, okay, and to have them outside of the football so we can build relationships with them, because that's what football is all about. Wins and losses are outstanding. I love to win more than anybody, but that's not the purpose. That's not what we're here for. That's not what I'm called to do. Thank you. Man, is that you? Did you hit my wife? You know, another way we invest into our athletes is we have kids that come through some rough home lives. Most kids that can't afford school clothes, a lot of times our coaches pitch in our money, and we go buy school clothes for our kids. One great thing, and I would never say this guy's name, this community member's name out loud, but he heard a story about one of our kids, and he comes to me and said, "Coach, that's the kid I want to help." And he gave me a handful of money to take that kid to the school clothes shopping. You know, I'm also that disciplinarian for the mama who doesn't have a male figure. I get calls on occasion. So-and-so is not acting right at home. You need to handle them, Coach. Yes, ma'am. And I'm here for that, too. I also, this past year, sat on and on with one of our players overlooking his deceased mother. You know, and I'm also there for that. Everything we do as a staff is to build our product, and our product is our voice. The second thing is our plan. Every day when we take the field, we're going to have a practice and game plan. Very structured, very organized. But that's not the main plan. The main plan is, how are we going to mold young men into better people? How are we going to mold young men into one day good husbands, good fathers, and good citizens of society? That is where relentless pursuit came from. And a bunch of people always ask me what relentless pursuit means. And this is the first time I'll be telling anybody what relentless pursuit means. But relentless pursuit, when I got here, is we needed a culture change. And we came in stating that relentless pursuit is the pursuit of excellence in everything that we do. Is that we want to be an excellent son, we want to be an excellent student, and we want to be an excellent athlete and player. We also want to be an excellent person. So, as the CEO of an organization, okay, it's my job to instill and to make sure that that standard is upheld every day by every coach, every trainer, every manager, and everybody that's a part of our program, that we make sure that we go by our standard, and that is relentless pursuit. We believe, and I forgot mine. We believe that If we live by this acronym, that we will be successful. Football games, winning football games is a byproduct of our culture and what we try to build. As we're going through that relentless, I'm going to go through this quick. I could give a sermon on each of these. So I'm just going to go quick, but reliable. We have to rely on each other to do the right thing. Excellence. Pursue excellence in all that we do. Leadership. We must lead in a positive way. Energy. We control our energy. We must be positive. Never wavering. We must never waver from the standard. Teamwork. We must work together to accomplish something great. Love. We must play our love for one another. Empathy. We must take others' feelings into account in everything that we do. Serving others. Find someone else to help every day. And selfless. One must sacrifice one of own self, individuality, to be a part of a team. We feel that if we live by these things, it has nothing to do with football, but we live by these, success will follow in everything that we do, in life and in football. So that's something, as your culture grows, we get more in depth with it, and that's something that we started this year, and our kids are striving to live by. We must take our culture every day. And with every business is consistently growing. You don't want to, I always heard that you're either getting better or you're getting worse. There is no staying the same. So we have gotten better this year. We have 130 players out, with a drastic increase from where we were when we arrived. We have 130 players out, 9 through 12. The discipline rate from our school is down drastically within the football program. Game attendance has increased. The OB community is excited about football again. Our school is excited about football again. And college recruiters are excited about Olive Branch being good again, because we had 9 guys signed last year with full ride scholarships to play football. As we continue to build our program, you know, most good programs, 90% of the time, are located in good communities. Community support is a key to building a championship program. I also believe that good athletic programs are great for the community and helping the community to grow. Mr. Wendell Davis, who's always behind the camera, but he's over OBTV for us, and he is a staple of the Olive Branch community. He was the first guy I met when I got here. He is the most supportive human being probably in the world, and he loves Olive Branch. He does our Keister Live every Friday night, and we live stream our games, and we live stream our basketball games, and people tune in all around the country to watch our live stream. We've got Alaska and Michigan and everywhere else around the world to watch our games on Friday nights. And people also tune in during the week just to see what Mr. Phil Lachey and Mr. Jimmy Woods are going to say. So, you know, and so we have people that watch it, and I've watched the archives, and they're always on there. But thanks to local businesses like this one right here, we're able to keep that up, and they're able to get good advertisement in return.
Yeah, to pick up the first name. That's the end of quarter one from Poole Field on this Friday night. After one quarter, Olive Branch Conquistadors 7, DeSoto Central Jaguars 0. We're going down the line to hear from our
North Central Electric Power Association. We not only support our local high school sports, we also support you. With our app available on iPhone and Android devices, you can pay your bill 24 hours a day, monitor usage, and report outages fast. You can also visit our website, www.northcentralepa.com, for payments, outage information, and other useful tips. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Energy saving tips, information, 24/7 available payments, 3 points that make it your cooperative. Here at North Central Electric Power Association, we not only support our local high school sports, we also support you.
You know, we don't thank North Central Electric for doing that for us. They sponsor us every year. If anybody would like to sponsor and advertise on our Keister Live or advertise on the field, I'll put my contact information up on the screen. We'd love you to invest in our product. I just want to thank Mr. Richard Hampton and Bayport South for having us to speak and brag on our program, and talk about our product, and talk about our plan, talk about our culture. Go Keisters.
And with schools and coaches that create students, that they create a good culture. And that's what Olive Branch is about. You'll hear more people say, Olive Branch is different. It's got a friendly family atmosphere, and it does have a good culture. But it starts with the schools. It starts with our students young. So thank you for all you do. Thank you, Bayport South and A&D for your sponsorship. And I have a lot of announcements, but I don't have time. But you have something in your chair that's got all of our events coming up to the end of the year, and we have a lot going on. I did want to mention our next month, October 10th, is our Business Expo. So we will have lunch under the tents at North Central EPA, and we have a few booths left if you're interested in having a booth spot to distribute your information on your company. Let us know because they're going fast. So thank you for being here. We appreciate it, and we're adjourned.
Hey, you got his phone. You got his phone.